Well, I reckon I know who should be our next energy minister, and it's Mr. Bean. And bear with me for a minute here. Mr. Bean is onto something. Now, you may well remember in Mr. Bean, he got around in a green Mini. He loved the green Mini. We've got a little bit of footage of him getting around in his favourite vehicle. How good is that? But of course, you know, if they made Mr. Bean today, it'd be a green Tesla, right? Or maybe not, because Rowan Atkinson, the man who played Mr. Bean, has written an op-ed in The Guardian in the UK in which he said, "I have been duped by the idea of electric vehicles." He said, quote, "Electric vehicles may be a bit soulless, but they're wonderful mechanisms, fast, quiet, and until recently very cheap to run. But increasingly, I feel a little duped. When you start to drill into the facts, electric motoring doesn't seem to be quite the environmental panacea it is claimed to be." And this is exactly what we're talking about with the solar panels and the wind turbines. And again, the electric car batteries, as we said before. In order to do all of this stuff, you have to dig stuff out of the ground, which is what we are told is bad. And people who jumped on board, thank God, are starting to wake up with the lies they have been sold. If that is the case, and enough people wake up, where do we end up? Because if we decide this is all rubbish and we've got to go back to the drawing board and start again, I mean, Christ, it was hard enough getting to this point. I don't want to do it all over again.
It's appropriate that a comedian makes this point because the whole thing is a comedy of epic proportions. I mean, Mr. Bean is a rocket scientist compared to Mr. Bowen, who couldn't wait to drive around in his taxpayer-funded Tesla in order to save the planet. But the picture on your screen right now is from February, where our energy minister, Mr. Bowen, was driving around in a Chinese-made electric ute that costs $90,000 and it only has range of 125 kilometres. So no Aussie tradie is going to spend 90 grand on a ute. You can get a Hilux for 50 grand and it does 500 kilometres rather than 100 k's before it needs to be plugged into a wall.
125k. You can't go anywhere. 125k is nowhere. I mean, I couldn't even drive to Port Stephens from here with that kind of nonsense.